Hello everyone, it's Pam from Glam Junk Journals, and I'm here today to continue on in my series From Inspiration to Junk Journal. This is series number 7, and this is part 2. If you remember, in part 1, we made paper fabric journal pages. And here it is, and I promised to tell you how I attached this page that we created onto a journal page. So here's what I did, is I just created a hinge and I attached it to another dictionary page, 3 pages that were glued together. And I stuck some ephemera in the back, and I just love how this turned out, and it's going to be so pretty in my journal. So today I wanted to continue on in using some fabric. And as you guys know, I love fabric. I get it at thrift stores. I've gotten some in Happy Mail, and I've just generally collected it over the years. So what we're going to create today is what I'm calling my waterfall, my fabric waterfall tags. Isn't that fun? Using up some of the paper, excuse me, not the paper. Well, yeah, the paper, the fabric, and some of the laces that I've pulled for the current journal I'm working on. And this is so quick to come together. And I just love how it turned out. So I'm going to show you how to create one of these. So the measurement for this particular fabric waterfall tag is, it's about 6.5 inches long and about 3 inches across. Now you can make these any size, really. I'm just giving you kind of an idea of what mine measured here. And it's going to look great in your journal. So what you're going to start out with is some of your fabric. And I've pulled some fabric and laces from my stash that I'm working on with this particular journal here. Hold on a second, I'm dropping stuff already on the floor. And I wanted to start layering. So what I did is, if you look at the back, there's a fuzz there, is this particular piece is the total measurement. So like I said, 6.5 down and 3 across. You want to start out with one piece that is that large. So what I'm going to do is take some of this gorgeous tapestry, and I am going to just eyeball measure the same dimensions as the previous one. So it's going to be, make sure I got this right here, 3 inches by 6.5. And I am cutting challenged, as you guys know, so I'm going to do my best to eyeball it and get it about the same length. And that looks wonderful here. So this is going to be your bottom layer right there. And I like to fray the edges a little bit. As you guys know, I love the distressed and the frayed look, but that is totally optional. So there's our first layer. And then the next one, let me move this cutie out of the way because he's getting all smushed. The next layer I wanted to do was this pink. And this is the same pink as on this one. So it is already the same size because I used it in the last one. And you want it to be a little bit shorter because you're creating the waterfall effect. So depending on how much of the lower, or the bottom fabric you want, and you just kind of eyeball, same width though. And I'm just going to cut that off. And of course, save those cute scraps, right? So there's the next one. And then what did I want to do? I wanted to do something a little bit different than I did on this particular tag here. And I want to add a layer of lace. And so I've got some lace, and I am going to cut that, again, a little bit shorter because you're creating the waterfall effect, right? So we're going to go up across and just cut one a little bit shorter, like that. Move that one out of the way. And you can always, you know, move things around to your liking there. See, now I think that already looks pretty. And then the last one is I wanted to use this gorgeous tapestry. I am absolutely loving this tapestry. So I don't know which side I wanted to do. So I think I'm going to do it like that. And then there again, it's a little bit shorter. And I'm, you know, definitely using the eyeball method here. So there's nothing scientific about that. Now this one's a little wide, and it, you know, it doesn't need to be exact, but I'm going to cut it down just a tad along the side. Now, one thing that I would suggest on these is I am using 2 pieces of tapestry. This one is thicker, but this one is thin. I wouldn't use really, really thin like silk or satin fabric on one of the lower waterfalls, because I think you need something sturdier on the bottom. And that being said, you could probably put something thinner like a satin or a lace or silk on one of the shorter waterfalls. And then on that same note, I wouldn't use a bunch of really thick fabric. I would kind of vary it because it may make your tag a little too bulky. Now, let's see, do I have that about the same width? I don't know. It's all the eyeball method, right? Now that, let's see, how do I want this? Do I want it with that at the bottom? I don't know. I think that looks really pretty. I might have to do that. And I'm going to eyeball it like that. Now, what I've got going here is mine is turning out a little bit shorter, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. And I am going to cut this one down just a little bit. Like that. And then from there, all we have to do is add our embellishments. So what I've done is I've done the same corner embellishment, and let me show you where I got this. Hold on just a second if I can find it over here. This is a gorgeous doily that I found at a thrift store. And so I just cut off the edge, and I'm like, oh, do I want to cut this up? But I'm like, you know what? It's going to look really pretty on here. So we're just going to have to do it. And then this is from, let me get this, oh, it's on the floor back here. A gorgeous table runner. And the reason I liked this is, you know, it's gorgeous as it is, but I like all the intricate patterns. So when you go to thrift stores, you know, look at things that can be cut up. See, because that's a gorgeous, gorgeous flower right there. And granted, I have used some of the larger pieces in journals, but it's fun to have the option to cut things down. So, all right, with that being said, I'm just going to tack this down. Now, I did sew this right along the top. That is totally optional. But first, what I am going to do is tack this down, each of them, and I will run this through my sewing machine, but that is definitely optional. I would just make sure that it's securely glued down if you don't want to use your sewing machine. And then from there, we're just going to attach that right on the side. And you guys know how I like the smush technique. I don't know if I'm going to want to do that on here because I think it might make the applique that's on the top a little weird, if you want to say. So I'm just going to mess around with that, glue that down like that. Get that one over the top. Not using a lot of my Fabri-Tac because, you know, I don't like the glue globs here, right? Just going to move that around. And I think what I'll do on this one is cut off this extra here. And there again, that's, you know, just what looks best to my eye. Right along there. All right. Move that out of the way. Now this little guy has been folded, so he's kind of sticking up. So there is the basic, the first part. I am also going to show you how to make this tassel right here. So first off though, I am going to stop the camera real quick and sew right across the top. So hold on just a sec. All right, I have completed the sewing just across the top and it looks wonderful like that, right? I love it. But you know me, I need to add some more bling and some more accessories and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to show you how I made these tassels. Oh, so fun. I already made another one and I was going to just add this to the one that we just created, but I thought, why not show you guys how to create one of these if you haven't seen it. There's a lot of tutorials out there, but you know, if it's something new to you, I'm happy to show it to you. So what you're going to need are these little clamps. And I don't know how well you can see these. Let me stand up. I got these off of Amazon and I got a huge amount. They come in silver and gold and also bronze. And they come in 3 different sizes. Here is the larger one. Then we've got the medium one and the small one. And I actually think they even came with an even smaller one, which I don't have right here. So those are what you're going to need, along with some strips of lace, fabric, whatever you want to use. Now, the way I like to create my tassels is I like to use a whole bunch of different types of materials, meaning I've got some sari silk here. If you guys remember, I have this scarf. Remember, that was ripped and I've been using it and I don't even know if I have any more left. But yeah, remember that? Got that at a thrift store and I've just torn it up and I'm using it in the journal. So I've got that strip. I've got some cute ribbon with hearts. I've got some lace trim. I've got some eyelash trim and then some additional lace. And I like the way all of those different elements come together. And that navy lace I got off of this huge piece of lace. Isn't that pretty? It's almost like a tulle. It's very sheer. So I like to add all sorts of different elements. I think it just adds interest to the tassel. Oh, and you know what? I think I want some eyelash trim. Isn't this pretty? Because you know me, I love bling. So I think I need to add some of that. And you can make these any length you would like. So from there, I gather all of these up at the top, and you want the ends all the same, meaning try to get them all lined up. And this is the most difficult part of doing these tassels, in my opinion, is you want to get all of the tops up at the top because they're all going to be clamped in those little jewelry clamps, and get it you know, how you want them situated here, which one you want towards the front, which one you want towards the back. So I just kind of play around with it. And then, like I said, look at the top, and you're going to kind of smush them together, because for this particular tassel, I'm going to use, well, I don't know if I'm going to use a gold or a silver. I think I'm going to go with gold. And this one is not the larger one, it's the next size down. And so what I'm going to do is take a little bit of my Fabri-Tac, get that going here, and kind of get all of the ends, you know, tacked together, just so they're kind of sticky, like that. See, and then that one fell out. So that's part of the deal, is you kind of have to finagle around with it and make sure you've got all of them sort of stuck together. Now that is, the reason I'm doing that is just to kind of hold it together. And then what I'm going to do is take a little bit more of the Fabri-Tac right on the top, and then I'm going to put my little clamp over the whole end. Make sure I get the back too, like that. Whoop. See, it's hard. It's hard when you're trying to do this on camera. And then what I've used very successfully are just these little craft pliers. Now, I have seen pliers that have like rubber on the interior so that when you clamp this down, it doesn't leave an indent. But I've got to tell you, these, I don't see any indents. So what I'm going to do is just gently squeeze. And I do like the glue underneath, because I feel it, you know, gives that extra reassurance that all of your little dangles are going to stay together, stay in the tassel, or the dangle. I guess you could call this a tassel, dangle, same thing. All right, in my opinion. And then there you have it. Look how easy that is. Now, I wouldn't pull on these very hard until, you know, after it's dried, but how easy is that? Hold on just a second. I need to get out a wipe here and get the goo off the top of my Fabri-Tac. Put that away. And then from there, you know, you can cut down. I'll probably trim some of that, but let's set that off to the side, and I'll show you what else I did on here. Now, I have a punch that creates this shape, so I used that to punch out this little shape. And as you can see on the top and the bottom, I created a little hole with my crocodile, and I used the smaller side here. Now, if you don't have a crocodile, you could use your awl or your pokey tool, like this, something like that, just to create a little hole there. And what I did is, this is 2 sheets of regular, you know, copy paper. But once they're together, they're, let me see, now wait a second, maybe not. No, yeah, this is 2 sheets of paper. And once they're glued together, I punched out 2. Once they're glued together, they're pretty sturdy for this little tab. So I punched 1 in the top and 1 in the bottom, and I'm going to use a bulb pin, and I'm going to put that through the top, and that's going to go on the edge of your tag here, like that. And of course that looks cute just like that. You could leave it like that, right? Now on this particular one, I added some buttons, so maybe I'll do that. Do I have any other buttons over here? I don't know if I do. Rats, I don't think I do. Oh well, oh well. And then from here, I created another one, another little dangle here, a little, you know, addition. And what this is 2 postage stamps. So I got out 2 postage stamps, and these are the more rectangular ones, and you know, you could definitely use the square ones, but I took a piece of, this is file folder. I would just use cardstock, and then we're just going to glue a stamp on each side. So it's cut to the dimensions of the stamp, like that, on one side, and then flip it over. And it doesn't have to be exact. As you can see, it's not, you know, exactly to the edges. This just gives some more stability. And then I make sure my stamps are the right way up. You just glue 2 together. And how stinking cute is that? And of course, you know me, I have to distress the edges of everything. I just go around that real quick. And then I'm going to poke a hole in my stamp. Whoops, let's see, this side is the small side. And then get this little pin back in my art glitter glue here, because my art glitter glue, it dries up really quick. Okay, so going to clip this one onto the edge of that, right? But what am I doing here? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. You know what I did? This is how I roll. Okay, so I've got 2 little dangles, but I forgot to add this. Duh, Pam. Okay, so hold on. It's getting ahead of myself here. All right, take that out, and then just go through the top of that. There you go. I knew something was missing here. Oh man, okay. And there you have it. Oh, that looks so cute. And from there, oh yes, bling on a roll. Yes, let's add some bling on a roll here. So I'm going to put that down with my art glitter glue again. Yeah, so embellish till your heart's content, right? Cut that off. Get that centered there like that. Oh man, these are so fun. And I have another one. Now see, this one I did add a button to. So isn't that fun, you guys? Oh, I love these. Love, love, love these. Now, what did I do with my pin? I'll have to find my pin for my Fabri-Tac. Oh, no. Do you guys do that when you're, yep, there it is. See? When you get going on your crafting, you lose stuff on your table, but you know it's on your table somewhere. Okay, so let me see. With that, I think I'm going to cut a couple of these a little shorter because I like to vary them, some longer, some shorter. That one's extra long. I'm going to have to cut that one down. So, yay! Look how fun those are. Oh, you guys, I could make these all day long. They're so fun. And look how pretty they're going to be on a journal page. Let me find a page from the journal I'm working on. And so, isn't that going to be pretty? You could clip this up at the top like that. You could also use a brad and just, you know, poke it on one end and go through like that. You could use a paper clip and just attach it along the top like that. Oh, or you could even glue it down. And think of all the options. You could put little bits of ephemera underneath, you know, sticking out from behind like that. Oh, isn't that fun, you guys? So there you have it. Yay! Hey, more uses for fabric in your journals. Yay! So thank you all so much for watching and being here with me today. And I'm excited for my next video. It'll be coming up soon. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!